What's up? Welcome back to the Creativ Rise podcast. We are so glad you're here. Joey and I love this podcast. Like, genuinely love every single week getting to drop in different creative business tips, tactics, things about that will help you move forward in what you want to be doing with your business. And this week is a special week because we're kind of doing something a little different.
Yeah, a little bit different. So if you're new here, you might have not heard of this before. If you've been listening to the show for a while, you have definitely heard of this. The Creativ Rise Mastermind is our signature 6-week incubator, business incubator that we run twice a year typically. We take about 35 businesses every time we run it, and we work with them. We deep dive with them for 6 weeks on all aspects of their business, and they come out flying on the other side with phenomenal businesses. Most people cross 6 figures. Lots of people have gone into the multiple 6-figure range as they've grown their businesses over the years. It's a great, great business incubator. Now, here's the thing. We've always protected and shielded what goes on inside of the mastermind. We do these live group calls with everybody. There's a ton of different aspects of the mastermind, but the live group calls are phenomenal. And one of the things about the group calls that we always say is this is a safe space. So say what you want. It's recorded. It's only going to you guys. It's never going anywhere else. But there has been a moment or two in history where something has been said. And I'm like, hey, we should just share that on the podcast. That was really good. Every single week when we do these 2-hour long calls with the community, we do a ton of Q&A and a bunch of stuff. There's always so much great stuff because that's what a mastermind is. It's not just Christy and I leading that group and saying everything, talking, teaching. There's a lot of feedback and different people speaking on what they are qualified to speak on, and it builds a really, really strong community. So every once in a while, we pull a clip and we say, hey, can we use this on the podcast? And so that's what we're doing today. We are going to be giving you guys a sneak peek into what the inside of the mastermind, these group calls look like. We're just having somebody to ask a question, and then we either answer the question or we say, hey, is there anyone in here that feels really qualified to answer this? And because of that, people get to talk about it. So we had Lukas Mann. He is a explorer, a mountaineer, a brand content creator from up in Canada, and he's a part of this round 9 on the mastermind. He's an awesome dude, and he's really, really well-versed on short-form video. In fact, I just looked at his account right before this podcast went out, and he's at 99.1 thousand followers. I bet you by the time this podcast goes live, he's probably crossed the $100,000 follower mark because he grows so fast because of the short-form video that he uses online, how he leverages it. But it's because of how he thinks about it. So somebody had asked a question, and we're recording this now. So last night when we had this call, somebody had asked the question, hey, I know I need to get a little bit more attention on me in order to hit my sales goal that I set for this mastermind and how many weddings I want to book. How do I leverage short-form video more? Because I feel like I'm stuck on it. It feels like there's a block. Can we talk about it? So Christy called on Lukas and said, hey, Lukas, you were just talking about this earlier. You're great at this stuff. Can you speak to it? So he did. And here's the recording of it. So tune on in. This is a sneak peek inside of the Creativ Rise community calls. And this is Lukas dropping some bombs. Here we go.
Lukas, why don't you talk a little bit about the quality versus quantity thing, just to encourage everybody on here when it comes to socials. If you're still on, Lukas.
There he is.
Yeah, no, I'm here. Yeah. Basically the biggest adage that I refer to is quantity breeds quality. Like nothing else. And there's really no way to shortcut that way to quality without putting in the quantity. And I don't care how fancy your transitions are, how good your cuts are, how high quality your video looks. Social media, Instagram Reels, TikTok, it's not YouTube. It's not paid ads. It's not Facebook. It's not, it's not sales. Like it's different. It's a completely different beast. And it just takes, like everything in life, it just takes reps, right? The more you do it, the more you understand what works. And so I've probably in the past 2 years posted, I would guess 150 to 200 pieces of short form content, which actually in the grand scheme of things isn't actually that much. But even once you put out 20 to 30, you're going to start having a better feel for what works well and what converts. And what actually the biggest thing on social media is viewer retention rate. Like, how do you get people to watch your video from start to finish and then watch it again? It's not actually really about, your likes or your saves or your comment. Those are all helpful, but getting people to stay on the platform is what Instagram and TikTok and all these platforms want. They care more about that than anything. So if you can create content that people want to watch, then it stays around. And the other one thing that I pointed out too is, there's really no point in trying to hack the algorithm, because there is no hack to the algorithm. The only algorithm is human psychology. There is no, and if you step back a little bit, the best way to think about it is, why would Instagram create an algorithm that doesn't keep people on the platform? The only algorithm that Instagram cares about is the algorithm that keeps people watching. So like, Instagram's not going to push content that people don't want to watch. They're going to understand, like, all the algorithm does is it tracks how much you like content and how long it keeps you around, and then it kicks more of that stuff out. So when people are like, oh, you're just lucky it went viral, it's like, no, you weren't. Like, no one's lucky it goes viral. You might think you're lucky because you don't understand, but that's different from actually being lucky. The algorithm doesn't just randomly push pieces of content out. There's always, like, trust me, Meta's so big, TikTok is so big, like, they are not randomly kicking pieces of content out to millions of people. There's a science and to everything, and the science is the science of human psychology. So if you can just, it's so simple. Like, if you sit there and you scroll for 10 minutes and just take mental note of the pieces of content that stop you and that you watch 2 to 3 times.
Why
yeah, rather than just consuming, go, oh, there was text. Oh, okay, there was like 3 quick cuts and it repeated really quickly. It was only a 7-second video. It was only like a 3-second video. What else? Like, what did the caption say? Were they using hashtags? Hashtags are, relative, somewhat irrelevant, but that is going to do so much more for you than trying to Google like algorithm hacks, because the only algorithm hack is just understanding what keeps you on there.
Yeah, that's so good. Okay, a couple key pieces that I love what Lukas is saying is quantity breeds quality. That is so good. Like, someone should make that their wager. They're going to tattoo them on themselves if they don't meet their wager. Quantity breeds quality. So ultimately, you got to just try it, right? You got to throw the darts at the board and see what sticks, because you just got to figure out what does your audience want to see. And if you're kind of like feeling dry for ideas, just go to other people in your industry that are crushing it and go, what are they doing? And how do I emulate that?
And
not
what's working?
but how do I emulate what they're doing and how they're talking in their reels, what type of text they're using, all that kind of stuff. And just
100%. Like literally every piece of content that I posted that has gone viral, almost every single one of them I got from someone else. Like, everyone does it. That is life. Like, it's just, and the quicker you pick up on things, the better you do.
Yeah, and if you're sitting here going, well, Lukas, that's stealing, that's ripping someone up. I'm a creative. I want to be original. Squash that. You're not a creative. You're a business owner. Your goal is to get in front of as many human eyes as possible so you can sell more. So rip people's ideas off that are attracting people's watch time, right? Like Lukas just said, the only thing that is important on the platform is watch time. That is why video. That's why everyone's going to video. Everyone's like, why does everything have to go to video? Well, it's because these companies make more money the longer you stay on the platform. What takes longer to consume, a video or a photo? Videos, right? That's why video gets pushed everywhere. So you just gotta go to people in your audience. Go, what is working? Go to people that are relevant to you, that have audiences that you have. Look at what's working. If one's got 50,000 views and one's got 1,000, look at them and go, how are these videos different? What was different about it? And how do I emulate that?
Become a student of Instagram and TikTok. Like, literally become a student and write things down. Like, if you see something, write it down. Justice, the Steal Like an
Artist. I was about to say what Justice just said. Read Steal Like an Artist. It takes like 30 minutes. It's such a short book and it's so good. And it completely removes the stress from every creative's life, because no one's really that creative. Everyone's just really good at stealing from other people. And the people that steal better from better people do better. Like, and I know it because I think we all know 98% of our good ideas just come from synthesizing someone else's great idea that you maybe tweaked a little bit. And that's totally fine. Like, that's life. And the best part about it is it takes creativity, and instead of it being like this elusive concept that only the creative people understand, it's all about taking action, because you all have ideas. As long as you just put them into action, like, just have that bias for action and do things, and eventually you'll find things that work. Don't worry about being creative.
100%. And by the way, if anybody needs any content, Lukas is basically saying, go rip him off. There you go.
Do it. Go steal my stuff.
So that was phenomenal. Lukas dropping some bombs. Like, welcome to your little TED Talk. Lukas just to drop some bombs on short form video.
Good.
What a cool format, though. And that is truly why we love the Mastermind. It's because it's not like, hey, just come learn from Christy and I. The reality is, Christy and I, as you guys know, if you listen to the show, we've got a lot to share. We've got a lot of stuff we know from building businesses over the last 10 years. However, we don't know everything, and we'll never be those idiots to think we know everything, right? So what I think we do well and what we aim to do well is go, okay, if we know some stuff, how about we get other people in the room that also know some stuff, that are also looking to learn some stuff, and if everyone can just be in that community, ready to give and give and give, like Lukas gave in that moment on that call, everyone walks away with more, which is so cool. So it's such a cool way to grow your business because it's so communal. There's so much accountability. And what other places do you often, become a part of where people are just unveiling what's going on behind the scenes? Like, hey, here's how I run this. Here's how I think about the algorithm. Here's how I do this. Here's how I do that. For most of you probably listen to the show, that's not conversations you're typically in. Most people gatekeep everything. I'm not sharing how I'm successful, right? So we just want to wreck that and change that. So the mastermind is so, so cool. We just love this round. It is phenomenal. Yeah. So first things first, if you are a part of this round, we love you. If you are not a part of this round and you just listen to the show, we also just want to extend our gratitude and say thank you so much for listening to the show. Like, Christy and I honestly love getting to do this every single week, getting to hopefully help you and help you grow your business. That is something that I was talking about last night. I was at Topgolf hitting some balls with people, and someone was asking me what I do, and I was like, I just get to help people build businesses, and it's so fun. It's such a rewarding feeling to see somebody succeed while doing what they love. So anyways, here's the thing I love that Lukas said. Number one was he said that it's not about the algorithm. Stop getting tripped up on the algorithm. He said just start focusing on human attention. The algorithm is simply what keeps human attention the longest, because then the platforms can then advertise more, right? So stop getting worried about the algorithm and hashtags and this and that. Just focus on how do I keep somebody's attention for longer with a short form video. And if I can do that, the platform's going to push it out, right? Yeah. How do I retain somebody's attention? And that's going to get the video pushed out, right? Because the Instagram, whatever, TikTok wants to reward you for acquiring someone's attention and keeping their attention. So cool.
I love when he said quantity breeds quality. So if you're looking for more quality in your socials, aka it's growth, focus instead on the quantity of what you're putting out. So rather than freaking out over, is this shot on a really nice camera, or is the perfect reel, whatever it is, ditch that, just start going quantity, and that will then tell you what you need to do. And oftentimes the lesser quality actually wins out when it comes to the algorithm, which is super cool, and hopefully is encouraging to the perfectionists out there. And then also thinking about, hey, what am I saying in these reels? What am I communicating, and who am I communicating it to? If it's more just like, I'm talking to maybe like other photographers,
I'm trying to impress other photographers.
I'm trying to impress just random people. Think about your ideal client. Think about your goals. If your goal is to make more sales with your ideal client, only talk to them. Don't try to impress the other peers that you have in your space. Talk directly to them, and you'll see your business flourish. So you guys, thanks, Lukas. Thanks, our whole Creativ Rise Mastermind Round 9. We love you guys. And thank you for listening to this podcast and being a part of the greater Creativ Rise community. We so appreciate your time and attention with this.
Yeah, so if you want to thank Lukas by just dropping him a DM on Instagram, go to ExploroMan on Instagram. We'll put it in the show description. Is his handle there. And you can just say thank you or, hey, dude, that was really great. But other than that, guys, we'll see you next week. Thanks for being here. From Christy and I here at Creativ Rise and the rest of the team that makes this thing happen. We love you guys, and we'll see you next week.